Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am talking all about something which I know drives people mad. I know that it's one of the hardest things to do on not just Instagram, but on any social media platform really, and online in general. It is how to stay consistent. And of course, because Instagram marketing is my jam, we are going to be focusing specifically on how to stay consistent on Instagram. The reason that being consistent on Instagram is so important is because it's that consistency with sharing great content and showing up and engaging with your community that is going to really move the needle for your business in terms of Instagram marketing. It's what is going to get you in front of more people, it's going to build brand awareness, and it's going to get more people converting from just followers into customers and clients. That is the importance of consistency. But being consistent on Instagram is tricky. And really in today's video, we're going to focus on two areas to stay consistent with. That is number one, content creation, and number two, engaging with people, chatting with people, building relationships with people. Those are the two things we're going to focus on in today's video, and I'm really going to walk you through step-by-step processes for both so that you can have a kind of a blueprint for how you might want to stay consistent in these two areas on Instagram, and you can adapt them to suit you, to suit your lifestyle, your schedule. But I think these two step-by-step systems, processes are really going to help you, at least with a great starting point. So first things first, let's address consistent content creation. One of the biggest time sucks when it comes to showing up on Instagram, building your business, generating more leads on Instagram. Being consistent with content creation is one of the trickiest things to do. And we've all been there, myself included. So let's focus on step number one with making this a more consistent part of your everyday routine, of your everyday marketing efforts. The first thing to say is that you do need to have a strategy. So you just need to be clear in your mind about what kind of content you're going to share on an ongoing basis and why you're going to share it. So what is your strategic content? What is the purpose of the different types of content you're creating? You should know with every single post that you put out what the purpose is behind it. Is it to attract people to your account? Is it to share your expertise and build your authority? Is it to develop relationships by allowing people to get to know you a bit better and pulling back the curtain of your business? Or is it making the sale? Is it converting people by telling people about your latest offer, your latest product or service? If you want to know the strategy that I use when it comes to my Instagram content, check out this video here, which I'm linking to above my head after this one. It is how I use the SSSS content system to make sure that every post I publish is serving a really clear purpose of moving people through my Instagram sales funnel, moving them one step closer to working with me or buying from me. So that's the first thing. Make sure you know what your strategy is. Step number two is to give yourself the time and headspace to just brainstorm. Now, I don't think that word is actually politically correct anymore, but we're just going to go with it for the purposes of this video. Brainstorm, ideate is another word, but really this is one of the most important steps when it comes to consistent Instagram content creation. And I think it's probably the step that most people skip out because we get so overwhelmed with other things on our to-do list. Other things come up. We think that actually we don't deserve the time and the space and the room to actually brainstorm, to think of ideas, to imagine, to dream. I really want you to make this part of your ongoing marketing efforts. Book an appointment with yourself once or twice a month where you just clear your calendar for maybe 1 or 2 hours, and that is your dedicated time to just brainstorm. You're going to spend that hour or two thinking of ideas that align to your content strategy. Now, if the thought of booking an appointment in your diary and then showing up to a blank Google Doc or a blank piece of paper or your physical planner fills you with dread, then here are some things to help get you started, to help get those creative juices flowing. Number one, show up with your Instagram insights so that you can have a look over the last month's worth of content to see what content performed well for you, so that you have some ideas for what you could repurpose, what formats, what topics, what themes you can tweak slightly and repurpose for this month's content. Have a look over your emails and your DMs over the last few weeks to see the kinds of conversations you've been having with people. Where have people been struggling? What have you been talking about? Again, that can be great inspiration for some content ideas. And finally, just have a think over the last month in your business. What milestones did you reach? What highs and lows did you have? Were there any tricky situations that you learned from and you grew from? Those are some ideas to get you started so that you can come to that brainstorming session with a bit of inspiration and some ideas, some content starters to begin with. And then you just want to block out that time, play music or not, depending on how you work best, light a candle, turn off your notifications on your phone, get rid of the distractions, and just allow yourself to brainstorm ideas so that you have a whole host of different ideas that will help you bring your content strategy to life. So step number 3, now you have your strategy, you've set some time aside once or twice a month to just brainstorm. Now the next thing I want you to do is to look at your entire content creation process holistically. What is every single step that goes into your unique content creation process? I want you to look at that overall and I want you to break it down into individual tasks. So that might be turning the ideas you've brainstormed into the posts. It might be writing captions. It might be dropping those posts into a scheduler. Break down every single step of that content creation process into its individual tasks, because that is what you're going to do. You're going to batch each task so that you can go all in on each one and have super focused time just being productive and efficient with each of those tasks. It's going to make that content creation process so much quicker, so much easier, and so much more efficient. I recommend doing what you did in step number 2 and booking dates with yourself, making appointments in your diary so that you know every single month that you have time set aside to focus on writing captions, to focus on putting everything into your calendar or scheduler, to actually turn those ideas into Canva, designs or images or reels or IGTVs. So break down that process and then put those individual tasks into your diary. And step number 4, analyze your results on an ongoing basis. So again, I sound like a broken record, but put a diary invite in your calendar, make an appointment with yourself so that at least once a month you are looking inside your Instagram insights to see what's working, to see what isn't, so that you don't have to sit down every single month when you're thinking about what you're going to share for the next few weeks. You don't have to do that with nothing to go on and a completely blank slate. You should be looking at your Instagram insights on an ongoing basis. So not only do you have ideas that you can repurpose again and again, but so that you're learning and getting a better understanding of what your unique audience wants from you. So often I have people say to me, Bella, how do I know what my audience wants? And how can I, know what kind of content to share again and again? And I say to people, look inside your Instagram insights. All of the answers are there. So make this a part of your monthly marketing efforts, make this part of your routine. Have a look inside your Instagram insights so that you have ideas to go on and you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel every single month. Now that we've talked about content creation, we're going to talk about how to maintain consistent engagement with your followers, with your community, so that you can turn them into customers and clients. So step number 1, set up a tracker of some kind, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's a Google Sheet, whether it is a physical planner. I personally prefer Google Sheets. I just find this the easiest way to keep track of a lot of kind of bitty information. Set up a tracker and first of all, add in all the names and the Instagram handles of people that you have been having conversations with. Now, if you've got a lot of people in your DMs that you're chatting to all the time, maybe don't include the people that you've had very, very cursory chats with, where it's just a love this or a like this, or it's just an emoji. Instead, go through and add the names and the Instagram handles of people where you've actually been having a bit more of a back and forth conversation. It doesn't have to be about business. It doesn't have to be about what you're selling or offering, but anyone that you've just been chatting to on a human one-on-one level about business or not, add their names and their Instagram handles into this tracker. Now, step number 2, now that you have this tracker, you want to be very intentional about adding anybody into that tracker that has registered an interest or shown up for your content. So I recommend sharing an Instagram story. If you're a service-based business, share an Instagram story about your freebie. So whether you have a template, a guide, a webinar, Make sure that quite regularly you are sharing this on your Instagram stories. You're talking about how people can get their hands on it, where they can download it, but rather than sending people away to download or get their hands on this freebie at the link in your bio, actually engage with people, interact with people on your stories by talking about that freebie and then adding a poll at the end of that story where you say to people, would you like to get your hands on this freebie? You put a poll sticker in there where you give people only 2 options of yes and oh my God, yes, 2 variations of yes. And then everybody that hits that poll sticker, you follow up with a personal DM and you say to them, wonderful, let me get this straight over to you. Let me have your email address, and then you do it yourself. The reason I'm encouraging you to do this is because it's you taking control of your conversions, and it is a great way of you knowing who in your followers, who in your audience is actually interested in your content. This is a great way to see who is a warm lead. If you're just saying to people all the time, check out the link in my bio, how do you know which of your followers, unless you have the option in the opt-in form of people adding their Instagram handle, how do you know which of your Instagram followers actually followed through and went to get that freebie at the link in your bio? Rather than putting it up to chance, leaving it up to chance, take control, share a story like this, and then everybody that says yes, they want it and who you send the freebie to, add their name and their Instagram handle to the tracker. If you're a product-based business and sharing a freebie or offering a freebie just isn't something that you do, perhaps you could share an Instagram story about a product launch. Maybe you could do some product research, some market research, include interactive stickers in your story to see who of your community is interested in taking part, who cares enough about that product, that research, to input, to give their opinion, to share their feedback. Again, everybody that interacts, follow up with them in the DMs, but also add their names and their Instagram handle into your tracker. And anybody that continually shows up to watch your IGTVs, to watch your Instagram lives, who constantly and consistently comments on your content, all of these people add their names and their Instagram handles into your tracker. Finally, step number 3. Now this is really about being consistent on an ongoing basis with keeping on top of that tracker. So for this step, you want to set either a diary invite once a week for a longer period of time, or maybe a few times a week for shorter bursts. And during this time, you want to open up your tracker and work your way down the list to touch base with all of those people. So if you've left any conversations that have gone a bit quiet, go back and check in with people, see how they are. If they shared feedback for your product research or they did ask for your freebie, then go back and see how they're getting on. How did they find the download? Did they get anything out of it? What results have they seen? If they haven't downloaded the freebie or they haven't given you any feedback about a product, but rather you've just been chatting to them about their life and other personal things, go onto their Instagram account and look at their content, have a look at their latest stories, interact with them, send them a DM, see how they are. This kind of ongoing personal one-on-one connection and care and interest in your community, that is going to be the difference between actually seeing results and generating business from Instagram and not. And a great tip is send voice notes to people if you haven't been doing this much on a regular basis yet. For anybody that you've been kind of chatting to in the DMs, why not send them a voice note rather than sending them a long message to see how they are? Hearing your voice is going to help them get to know you, feel like they're much closer to you. This is a great tip I like to share with people. It's just a great way of, again, feeling that one step closer to your community rather than feeling like an account and a follower. So that is step 3. Set reminders in your diary so that you, on an ongoing basis, keep in touch with people. You don't lose track of them. So much money is left on the table when people don't follow up with people. There are so many conversations happening in your DMs that if you keep them going and you keep continually, consistently showing an interest in people, not just talking about your products and services, but also just seeing how they are, catching up with them, remembering, because you have your tracker, that they had a podcast episode airing next week, or they hit a big milestone in their business last week. When you keep a track of these things and you make a note of them, it empowers you to be able to follow up with them, ask them, show an interest about these specific things, and it's going to make them feel like you actually care about them. And so when it comes to working with you or buying a product from you versus somebody selling something very similar versus your competition, those people that you've shown an active interest in, it's you they're going to choose to work with or buy from because you care. That's all for this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell button so you never miss a new video when it drops every single week. I hope this has helped you feel a bit more confident about showing up on Instagram consistently when it comes to content creation and engaging with people. Don't forget to get your hands on the free guide, a month's worth of Instagram stories to skyrocket your engagement. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Thank you. Bye.